Another story today. After the murder of Alex Preddy, it was a horrible day. I kept looking at the news reports. I kept, again, just feeling like hell is empty and all the devils are here, as Shakespeare said. So I was going to bed a little after midnight. And all of a sudden I see these flashing lights. I thought maybe the neighbor had left her car lights on. And so I look outside my window and I see 4 men with flashlights who look like law enforcement in my neighbor's yard, literally at their windows. I'm not posting that video because it's too close to home, but believe me, I had a lot of conversations with the police about it today. So this happened, like I said, a little after midnight. At that point, I became convinced that because Bad Bunny and Super Bowl are coming and they'd already been warning about Bay Area activity, that they were doing knock-ins or door-ins here. And so I kept all the lights off. I did feel like I was in war in the dark, and I had all of my things, didn't want to turn a thing on, and was just thinking, I called certain people and let them know, and could barely sleep. Woke up this morning, called the cops because I was terrified to do anything in the middle of the night. So the police finally call me, and he listened to me, and then he's like, wait a minute, what street? He's like, let me call you right back. He's like, please go to your neighbors if you've figured out which house it is. He's like, because we do want to speak to them. So a few minutes later, he calls me back and he says, oh, Vanessa, he's like, we got a call at the same time your video was taken that there had been a crime, that the people in the car had crashed and that they had been fleeing in the vicinity of that neighborhood. And he said, we don't need your video because that's clearly of our law enforcement looking. And he said, but here's my email just in case. And he said, please ask your neighbors if they have any other Ring cam. Do you know the psychological torture of I genuinely believe that. And before I even had the courage to call the police, I had sent that video to 3 other people who I consider very sane, and they were like, get on the phone, Vanessa. No, those don't look like burglars. Those do not look like burglars. They're torturing us psychologically, physically, emotionally. There is, I believe Peruvian shamans, they make a prediction politically into the coming year. And they had predicted, and I was literally, finishing my lovely tropical vacation. And I'm like, oh, what did the shamans say? And they had 2 predictions. One, that, our predator in chief would meet his maker. And 2, that the American people would suffer. I flew home the day we bombed Venezuela, and ever since that day, it has been an ever-coming nightmare. And you know what? They were right. We are suffering. And I'm terrified of what comes next.